So everybody from my generation tends to really love these Toy Story films, and I have a story of my own. I figured I'd drop this before my actual review of Toy Story 4. I can remember when I was a little kid really liking the original Toy Story. I actually have a Woody doll still. He doesn't have his hat anymore because I used to do the joke in the first movie where the shark stole his hat. Oh, Woody, howdy, 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 that kind of thing. So I made my other toys always steal Woody's hat. So I've lost that over the years. And I can remember at least watching it like every other month or two. And it wore out the VHS. And the sequel, I can remember seeing that one in theaters. Like, I also saw the original one in theaters, but I can barely remember it. But the second one, I actually do remember seeing it in theaters. I actually remember coming out of class at school and going to see it with my dad. And I remember liking it, but I wasn't like in love with it like the original one was. And I can remember watching the Buzz Lightyear cartoon before school started when I was in middle school. And I liked it. And then the third one came out, and I had really no interest in seeing it for some reason. I just didn't want to bother going to see it. And I only saw it when I got it on DVD because at that point I had joined the Disney Movie Club, and you needed to buy at least 5 movies at full price from them. And they were offering, you could get the 3 Toy Story films at a discount, and it will count 3 of those, and all 3 will count towards the 5 you need to buy at full price when 3 had come out. And I figured I didn't own any of the Toy Story movies on DVD. I only had them on VHS, and on my VHS player I had broken at that time. And I was thinking, okay, I remember actually liking 1 and 2, so I'll probably like 3, and it was a blind buy. I've seen it once. I can honestly say I thought it was like decent enough. Like didn't make me say, oh, it's like everybody else. Oh, it's the greatest movie ever. It was perfect and all that crap. No, it was okay. So like I can remember having the tiny action figures, like the 6-inch scale ones from 1 and 2, like the shiny Buzz Lightyear, the Woody and the scuba suit. Which, remember those toys from the early thousands and the late 90s, early thousands, what they came out and had nothing to do with the movies themselves. It was just, what if this happened? What if this happened? What if this happened with those characters? And it never happened in the movies. Like, you'd watch those movies and it never happened. So like you'd see like Batman and Robin, and it'd be like villains in the toy line which weren't in that movie. Or they'd be doing things that weren't in that movie. And that kind of stuff. So anyways, I probably wouldn't have seen 4 or bothered watching 4 until it came out on like DVD for like $1 rental or something. But just same as 3. But now with this movie review thing that I'm doing, where I see every movie basically, and I did it all for 2018, and this is now 2019, I'm doing it again. Now I kind of have to. But it's like I still have not seen Coco or Finding Dory. Even though I have owned them both. I got them both on Black Friday as blind buys. But I do not own them. Or I haven't watched them. They're on my server. I haven't watched them. Because I just don't feel the need to watch these movies. Everybody said how great they are. It's like everybody always talks about how much they loved Up. I've seen that movie. I think I've seen it twice now. And I don't see why people love it so much. It's okay. It's just not, I guess it's not my cup of tea. I mean, I know you don't grow out of Disney movies. It's just, you just don't like them anymore. Or they're just, you see them as just okay. It's like me. 3 was okay. It's not something I'd want to watch over and over and over and over again. It's like I haven't bothered watching like I think it's like Tower of Terror or whatever it's called, the Halloween special they did for it, or the one where the dinosaur Rex had a bubble bath, and there was another one they did. There's like random Toy Story movies that were made for TV, and I haven't watched any of those. So I'm not a fan. Like, I know a lot of people are, or not a lot of people. I know a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people online and that are talking about how great these movies are and how they're the best trilogy ever, and how they love these franchises and they can't get enough of watching these films. And honestly, I think I've watched the movies since I bought them on DVD once each. And this was in 2010. At that point, I was 20 years old. So, now I will actually watch Toy Story 4, and then I will do the review, and it'll be attached onto the end of this video. So, do you have a Toy Story story, like some kind of memory attached to it, or are you one of the people that just loves this franchise and can't get enough of watching it, or are you one of the people that, they're okay, I can watch them, I can not watch them, or are you one of the people that, I hate these movies, they're stupid? I haven't really run into anybody that says that, but, you know. Okay, now let's watch Toy Story 4. The Toy Story Trilogy. So instead of reviewing 4 after the thing I just did, the My Toy Story story, I decided that I would just do a casual review of the original 3, even though I kind of did a little of it with what I just said, and then just have the review for 4 be its own little thing, its own video. And also put it off because Toy Story 4 is only an hour and 25 minutes, according to the time mark, and I still have 3 hours left on my shift. So, anyways, Toy Story. Nostalgic grade, I'd give it like an A, and even with my critical one, I'd probably still give it an A, because I can remember it being sarcastic and funny, and liking the characters. I mean, the CGI could use a little work. But then again, this was the first fully animated movie in computer animation, and it got me thinking, this one and Shrek and Bug's Life, and with the original CGI movies, they should go back and do what they do with video games. Remasters. You know, they already have the actors' audio, they already have the puppeteering, there's the rigs, all they need to do is just put new CGs on it. And a lot of these movies, except for Bug's Life, obviously, they have newer models. It's like they have new models for Monsters, Inc., because they had it for Monsters University. All you gotta do is just age them up a little, get rid of their younger sides, and make them back to being their older and taller versions of these characters. They have newer models for the Toy Story characters because they've done Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4. So just put those on the rigs. They'd have to just redo, like, Bo Peep, because she was not in 3, but she has been in 4. They just got to put her dress back on her. I mean, I know it's in a couple scenes, so they probably had the puppet with her on it. And I know they've done Shrek because they've had Shrek 3 and 4, and those ones, the CGI got the snuff. So they could just redo 1 and 2. Because I've seen Shrek 2 recently on high definition TV and everything, and it looks fine, but if I'm remembering how Toy Story looked originally, I remember this is like on VHS, I don't think it would look that great in high definition. So, you know, they already have everything done for them. They've got to redo the puppets and do some rendering, and they could re-release it and be like the remastered classic that you loved when you were a child. I think I could get them some money. But that's nothing really pro or against the movie. It's just my thoughts on it for the early CG movies. But anyways, the writing and everything was top notch, and I can remember obviously loving it because I still know where all the stupid toys are in my old room. And I can remember even having quotable lines like "You are a toy" and "I'm Mrs. Nesbit" and all that kind of stuff. Now, time for Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2, I can remember the song "When She Loved Me." I can remember when I was a kid actually crying to it. When I rewatched it again all those years later on the DVD, just teary-eyed, I guess because I've seen sadder things. And I got the whole theory about Jessie being Andy's mom's toy because he calls her Bazooka Jane, and then in Toy Story 3, he calls her Jessie. So who told him it was Jesse? I mean, he could have gone online and found it out, but it'd be nice if that's actually his mom's toy. And oh, I remember that. That doll is actually called Jesse. But then again, it also leads into the father theory. Because the first movie, how CGI was so new, they weren't going to show the parents that much. They didn't want to bother animating the dad, so they just cut him out of the movie completely. And then once again, the parents weren't very into the movie, so they just figured, okay, he's a single parent, because that's a Disney trope. So that made the theory, or some interview or something. I remember seeing something that the dad is dead and Woody is Andy's only thing from his dad. And that made me not like 3 very much. Because when I saw 3 finally, I can remember everybody talking about how sad the dump scene is, the garbage dump scene, and how the toys are going to be melted. No, I knew nothing was going to happen to them because it's a Disney movie, and I knew they had gone on and done other movies with these characters, or those TV movie things at that time. And they were talking about Toy Story 4 even after 3 was just coming out on DVD. So I didn't really feel anything about that. And I thought it was really stupid him giving his toys away. I can kind of see maybe giving Buzz and the rest away. But if Woody's the only thing left from his dad, because they didn't move out of town, they just moved out of the house. Because in 3, you see Sid being the garbage man. And as a garbage man, Sid did not leave town. And it'd be extremely coincidence if both Sid and Andy still live in the same damn town. Nah. And I know he didn't think he was going to be in the box, but if that was the only thing from your dad left, you just explain to the child that this is the only thing I have left of my dad. And I know you like him, but I have to hold on. He has to stay with me. You have all these other guys to play with and keep you company. And you look up at the parents and say, hey, I'm sorry, I can give the other ones away, but I can't leave this. It's the only thing left of my father. And they would understand. They'd explain it to the little girl. She might cry a little, but after he leaves, they'd explain it to him. Like, he gave you all these other nice toys. That one is the only thing he has from his daddy. His daddy is gone. But even that, why would he give them away to begin with? Because college kids, at least back when that movie was in, and I was in college in that time. I was 3rd year in college when that movie came out. College kids, especially boys, still have toys in their dorm room. They have them on like shelves and that, like action figures and that. And in the Toy Story land, Buzz was the most popular action figure, so people would think that's retro. I don't know why he'd give them away. Or feel like you can't take those to college. Because even when they're doing the drugs and the banging of bitches and having wild parties, the toys are still in the room with the guys, with the kids. Or, he'd leave them at home or he'd take something with him because it reminded him of happier times when he was a child. A lot of kids and adults in dorm rooms still have them. And if you look at the toy collector's market, a lot of adults have toys. It's like, you can look at someone like the Geeks and Gamers guy, Jeremy, and he has a Toy Story toys in his office. Or you look at somebody like Cosplay Chris, who's constantly making toys look like museum pieces. And then you can look at the museum piece toys. Like, they have action figures who are like extremely high quality, like hundreds of dollars for this one little figure. That's not for kids. You don't have to give away your toys when you're an adult. I mean, it's a nice happy ending. Like, oh, they're gonna get to be played with forever, and not just sit on the shelf and maybe randomly picked up every now and again. And it goes to the message of, like the second one, toys shouldn't be left in boxes, they should be played with, because that's what they're made for, that's what they're happiest for, but still, that doesn't make sense. But for sequels and everything, that makes a little sense, but it's just not my thought process on the whole thing. That's probably why I didn't like it as much. I definitely thought the bear and his gang was a little annoying. I didn't like them. Pete and Newman, I don't remember the guy's name, but I know he was Newman, the guy that stole Woody from the second one. They were fine. I like that they finally brought Zurg onto the platform in the second one. And a little nod to Star Wars, I am your father. No! That was funny. I definitely don't think that definitely think Andy would have noticed that second Buzz Lightyear, because there's nothing different on him except for the belt. So if second Buzz and Zurg had gone with him, he probably would have looked at his mom. Why'd you buy me a second one? I already have Buzz Lightyear just for the belt. I didn't buy you that. I guess one of your friends left it here when they were playing. Then he'd ask all his friends, and one of his random friends would probably say, "Oh yeah, that was mine," and take it, and it wouldn't really be his, because we know Buzz came from the store. But I'm overthinking this now. But give me a break. It's 4:21 in the morning. I can remember giving the second one, like, my nostalgia rate would probably be like a B. It wasn't as great as the first one was. Even though I did like the airport scene better than Civil War's airport scene. At least I'm remembering it properly. With them fighting Pete in the airport. Not Air Force. That's the only other thing I remember about Toy Story 2 is that the When She Loved Me song, when the old guy from the chess short before Bug's Life is the guy that fixes Woody up to make him museum quality. And that, in the airport scene, and that he called her Bazooka Jane, and the mother corrected him and said that's Jessie in the third one, or someone had to correct him for the third one. He tells the little girl this is Jessie. I remember all that. And I remember Woody getting hurt in the chicken place. Like, I remember the first and the second one almost perfectly, because I watched them a lot as a kid. The third one, I can remember the ending, because a lot of people post about it and talk about it. It's on a lot of lists of, like, what culture and everything, and people are always posting memes about it. It's like when Stan Lee died, him being Andy and Kevin Feige being the little girl, and handing Kevin Feige all of his favorite toys. That dumb meme. I remember that scene mostly because of that. And I remember the dumb trash factor scene, because that's on a lot of lists of people doing, and a lot of people always talk about it. But other than that, I don't remember anything about the third movie. Like, he was gonna put his favorites in the attic because his mother was gonna clean his room out or something, and it got mixed up with the garbage, and the mother took it out and to be donated, and they were all donated except for, I think, Woody, because Woody was gonna go to college with them. And then he went to the place, and Woody wanted everybody to go back to Andy because they're Andy's toys, and we can be, why go back to Andy's and stay in an attic when we can stay here and be played with forever? And they find out that being played with by little children is a nightmare, and the bear doesn't want them leaving for some reason, or the bear doesn't want them to be run away because he likes being a dictator or something like that, and turns Buzz into a Mexican. And I don't know how to escape the daycare, or I don't remember anything about them, how they got to the garbage dump. Like, I remember the bear being put on, like, the front of the dump truck. But give me a break. I haven't seen that movie in 9 years. And that one, I remember thinking it was decent. I don't remember what my grade would have been, because I wasn't grading movies back then. So I didn't start grading movies until, like, 2 years ago, when I started writing little reviews online about them. So I don't remember what I gave Toy Story 3, but since I haven't watched it in a long while, I'll give it a C, just in the middle. And talk about the one Toy Story thing I have watched, or I did watch, besides this. The 3 would be the Buzz Lightyear series. I remember the extra characters. The one guy who was played by Oswald from Drew Carey's show was the bad star. The guy from Drew Carey's show that played Oswald played Buzz's evil partner who died and then came back to life, or pretended to die and just came back for a robotic hand. The blue girl, who was also on Buzz's team, was like some princess or rich girl who didn't want to be a princess or rich girl, so that's why she joined Starfleet. The big red guy was stupid comic relief, and the little robot, I want to say, sounded like Niles, maybe? I remember really liking that cartoon, because around that time when that show was airing, at least on Toon Disney when I was in middle school, was when I started writing my own stories, and I was really getting into episodic things and wanting to have like an actual story to stuff. That's when I started hating like SpongeBob, all that kind of stuff that was just, you could watch it or not. You could miss like 12 episodes and come back and you know exactly what's happening. And it was like that, and the Tarzan cartoon it was on. And I can remember, like, before going to school, I had to choose which one I wanted to watch. Like, take a shower and then watch TV, or watch TV and then take a shower to get ready for school. And I recorded the other one to watch after school when I came home on the VCR. And so I remember kind of liking it. It's like, I can only remember like one episode, but it's probably because sometimes on those lists about cartoon, people are all angry about this cartoon having some gay character, but did you know that, like, Hey Arnold's teacher was gay, and in this episode of Buzz Lightyear, there was a species that had to choose its gender when it was a certain age, like I think 12 or something, and the kids on the starbase, the boys all wanted to become a boy, the girls all wanted to become a girl, and at the end it chose one, but didn't tell anybody because it didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. It wanted to stay friends with everybody. Because the boys and girls were in cliques like, oh, boys are better, and this is why. Oh, girls are better, and this is why. So I remember that episode, but it's probably because of those lists, like I said. Or just stuck with me. One of the two. Because I don't remember much about the series, except for that it was an episodic storyline for the most part. It had this filler, obviously. And it's not available on DVD, except for the movie, the first the pilot, which is where Buzz's partner gets hurt, and it's revealed that he's actually the bad guy. And in the movie, Buzz was played by Tim Allen, but then they redubbed the movie for the show, because it was like the first 4 episodes like Gargoyles. But they redubbed Buzz to do the show part, and in the show, he's played by the guy that played Kronk. He was also in Seinfeld. He was Elaine's boyfriend. Can't think of his name. So, I know a lot of people will probably have different thoughts about Toy Story trilogy. Like a lot of people, like I said, love 3 and say, oh, it's a great movie. You know, it's perfect. Some people will say how perfect number 2 was. I mean, a lot of people will probably agree with me on 1 about how it's a classic childhood film, or it's a good movie on its own rights and merits. But I'm sure it's a controversial thing to say. 2 was okay and 3 was meh. So, like, dislike, comment down below, and hey, look out for the review for Toy Story 4 dropping later. Either later today or tomorrow, one of the two. Have a good one.